I'm Carl Azuz, welcoming you to CNN Student News. Hosting an international event can come with an intense spotlight. Yesterday, we talked about some of the challenges that Russia is facing as it gets ready for next year's Winter Olympics. There's also been a focus on a controversial Russian law that deals with homosexuality. The law doesn't make it illegal to be gay, but it prohibits distributing information to minors that promotes same-sex relationships. The law had some people concerned about the upcoming Olympics. What kind of behavior would or wouldn't be acceptable from athletes or fans? On Monday, Russian President Vladimir Putin said everyone would be welcome at the Games. Quote, "We are doing everything so that participants and guests feel comfortable in Sochi, regardless of nationality, race, or sexual orientation." What kind of impact could President Putin's statement have?
President Putin's comments are clearly an attempt to cool some of the international anger over Russia's anti-gay propaganda law, which makes it illegal to tell children here that gay and straight relationships are equal. It's been branded discriminatory. His words are unlikely to satisfy gay and human rights activists around the world who aren't just worried about what this law means during the Olympics. They're angry about its very existence and what it will mean for gay people in this country before, during and after the Games.
Next up today, advice and consent. It's a phrase right out of the U.S. Constitution, and it's one of the responsibilities of the U.S. Senate. Works like this. The president nominates people to fill certain positions in the U.S. government. Then the Senate advises and consents, or it doesn't. Senators consider the nominees, ask them questions, then they either confirm or deny the nominees for the jobs. This is Senator Lindsey Graham. He's threatening to block every nomination from President Obama until he gets answers about an attack on a U.S. facility last year.
To this date, we don't have the FBI interviews of the survivors conducted 1 or 2 days after the attack. We don't have the basic information about what was said of the night of the attack that's been shared with Congress as of this date.
The terrorist attack Senator Graham is talking about is the one on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, Libya. 4 Americans were killed, and Senator Graham says they died in a different way than the Obama administration says they did. He's been pushing to get details on what happened and on the administration's response. He wants the Senate to be able to question the survivors of the Benghazi attack. So what about Senator Graham's plan to block the nominations? He can do that. The rules of the Senate allow members to hold up nominations through different methods. It's something Democrats and Republicans have done. The goal is to force action or compromise.
It's time for the shout out. Which country is part of 2 continents? If you think you know it, then shout it out. Is it Australia, Mexico, Turkey, or there aren't any? You've got 3 seconds. Go. Turkey spans continental lines. The Bosporus Strait separates the Asian part from the European part. That's your answer, and that's your shout out.
Turkey has been called a bridge between Europe and Asia. In fact, there's an actual bridge over the Bosporus that connects the continents. Now there's a passageway underneath the Bosporus, too. Yesterday, Turkish leaders and officials opened a new underwater railway tunnel. It's a multi-billion-dollar project that engineers say can get you from one continent to the other in about 4 minutes. You've probably studied the Silk Road, the ancient trade route that linked China with the West. Officials are hoping this tunnel will be an important part of a modern Silk Road. This report looks at how it came together.
Istanbul, a maritime city crippled by heavy traffic. The Bosphorus Bridge is one of just 2 road connections across the city's strait. Cars, along with the city ferries, carry the load of more than 1 million daily commuters.
I'm on board one of the commuter ferries on the Bosphorus, and it is difficult to imagine when you're here that 60 metres below us, works are ongoing on the world's deepest submerged tunnel ever built.
This is the core of the Marmaray project. A remarkable feat of engineering, this tunnel sits beneath one of the world's busiest shipping lanes and about 16 kilometres from the nearest fault line.
So where are we now?
We are at the Sirkeci station, which is the deepest station of the system.
On the European side?
On the European side.
This is an area of seismic activity, I understand. So what are you doing to minimize the risks?
We have seismic joints in the tunnels. Those will act like a flexible joint between two tubes and will take the effects of seismic movement.
The immersed tube tunnel was assembled from 11 concrete segments and is part of an overhaul of the existing cross-city railway system. Work started in 2004, but construction was put on hold following the discovery of an ancient Byzantine port.
The tunnel is going under very historical area, so every piece of soil is examined by expert. Because of that, believe me, we lost 5 years.
The Marmarai will take passengers across the strait in a little over 2 minutes, easing congestion while bringing Europe and Asia closer together.
Time for a shout out extra credit. Which of these is not a medical vital sign? Is it breathing, consciousness, pulse, or temperature? Rewind the clock to 3 seconds and go. A vital sign check includes breathing, pulse, temperature, and blood pressure, but not consciousness. That's your answer, and that's your shout out extra credit.
Checking vital signs is one of the first things a paramedic does in an emergency situation. And in a hospital emergency room, a patient's vital signs are monitored continuously. When doctors are training, they don't always work on live patients, and dummies don't usually have vital signs. But technology is helping make training more real.
Trauma alert, gunshot wound.
Let's get 2 liters of fluid. Pressure 84 or 56. Let's go ahead and intubate.
The sights and sounds of an emergency room.
Bobby, how you feeling?
Conditions that trauma doctors like Robert Benjamin are trained to handle. But this is not an average workday.
I had no idea that this was going to be that intense.
The trauma team is training. Their patient is bleeding and has rapidly changing vital signs. But he's not in danger of dying because he's not real. This is a high-tech patient simulator.
You were able to do a neuro check, moving extremities, looking at his eyes, breathing and respirations were very, very accurate.
All right, we're going to stop. Many times the learners know they're being trained. I'll just switch the scenario. I'll drop his blood pressure. What are you going to do now?
A control room team monitors the training, and the patient simulator's vitals are manipulated by remote control.
He lost a total amount of 1,500 milliliters of blood. His respiratory rate is now back up to 45.
Everything is recorded, giving the team video to review and an experience that could help in real life.
We need to build up more trauma teams, and they need to get to training in order to, become those veteran nurses.
We have another trauma on the way.
It's all staged, but for trauma training, this is as real as it gets.
It's Worldwide Wednesday when the roll call checks in with some of the schools watching CNN student news from around the world. Today's schools all have something in common. First up, we have the Dragons from Kubasaki High School in Okinawa, Japan. Then we have the Dragons, this time from Singapore International School in Da Nang, Vietnam. And finally, guess what? We have the Dragons, Balboa Academy in Panama City, Panama. Welcome, one and all, to the roll call. These fishermen are showing off their big catch, but keep a close eye on the right side of your screen. There it was. A sea lion just poached the guy's fish. It came right up over the side, snatching it out of his hands. Maybe he should have been more concerned with his grip than with his pose. Thanks to the YouTube video, at least there's evidence that at some point he had the fish. There it is again. Most stories about the one that got away are met with skepticism. And if he tries to tell this tale, you know how people would respond. See? Lion. After all, without the video, the story sounds a little fishy. We are out of time today. That was easily the worst pun we've had all year. And you know I ain't lying. We'll be back tomorrow with more CNN Student News. See you then.